Hello everyone, my name is Ashish and you are watching on the Web Guy YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to learn how to use React Bootstrap in your projects. So without wasting any time, let's get started.
If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell icon so that you don't miss any of our videos.
As usual, I'm using my VS Code text editor along with the Chrome browser, and as you can see that this is our to-do application which we built in our last video. So we'll take it further from here and we'll add React Bootstrap to this project. So the first thing which we need to do is to add React Bootstrap to the project. So the way we can do that is we'll press Ctrl and tilde sign to open our terminal, and here we'll write npm install React Bootstrap like this. And let's also open the React Bootstrap website. So here we'll say React Bootstrap, and let's open this first link. And here you can see that we'll have all the information about how to install it and how to use its various components. So let's go on to get started. And here you can see that we have written npm install React Bootstrap. We also need to install Bootstrap for this project, so we will install that next. So after we've installed React Bootstrap and Bootstrap to our project, let's import this to our project. So you can find the instruction somewhere here. So we'll just copy this line and we'll paste it here in our index.js. We can close the terminal, and here I'm going to paste this like this. We can close this as well, and that's it. Now we are ready to use React Bootstrap in our project. Now the next thing which we need to do is add a container component. So we'll add a container component from the React Bootstrap like this, and we'll wrap all the elements inside the container component. So let's shift this down here like this. And now everything inside our app is inside of the container. These container components, this container, row and column components, are the layout components in the React Bootstrap. So we use them to create our layout in the application. Now you can see that container is not defined, so we need to import the container component. So we'll press on Ctrl and spacebar, and then you can see that it will be auto imported like this. So we need to import the container component, and now you can see this error will go away. Now the next thing which we need to do is to add a row inside of the container. So we will put, we want these input elements to be in a single row. So we'll add a row inside this container component which will wrap all these input elements. So here we'll say row like this, and now we'll shift it down here, and don't forget to import this row component. So this got automatically imported in our application, and you can see now our search box and our input box are in a single line. Now the next thing which we need to do is to add columns inside the row. So we'll add one column for the input element and this add to do button, and another column for this search box. So here we'll say call like this, then just shift it down here like this. And we also need to import the column, so this call component. So we'll say Control and spacebar, and then it will be auto imported like this. Similarly, we'll add another column for the search component. Let's shift it down, and that's it. Now to make it responsive, we can pass some props inside the column component. So we'll pass access. So the way Bootstrap works is it works on a 12 column grid. So we want this call component to take 6 of those columns, and this call component is to take the rest 6. So here we'll say xs is equal to 6, xs is for small screen, and again here we'll say xs is equal to 6, like this. Now the next thing which we want to do is let's center this h1. So here we can say we'll go to the h1 tag, and here we will say class name is equal to text center. So here we'll say text center, and this is the predefined bootstrap class which is used to center the elements. So we can center like this. Now here inside the wrapping div we will say style. So we'll create an inline style. So we'll say max width like this, and we'll set its value equal to 100 pixels like this. And we'll also add a class of mx auto to the wrapping div. So here we'll say mx auto like this. Now even if I increase the width of the browser, so you can see that it's completely responsive. It is in the center, and all these items are in the center. Now what I want to do is we want to send this input box to the right, and we want to send this search box to the left. So now we'll go here. Let's increase this so that you can see it better. Now here in the column, here we'll say class name is equal to, so here we'll say text right like this, and in this column we'll add a class name, and we'll set its value equal to text left. So if you have ever used Bootstrap before, you would know that these text right and text left, these are the predefined Bootstrap classes which we get to style our text. So text right sends the text to the right, and text left sends the text to the left. So basically aligns the text to the left. Now you can see that our input box and the search box are in the center. Now the next thing which we can do is add some margin to this to-do application. So we'll add a class of m5 here in the h1, and this will add a margin around our h1 tags. So like this. Now if we add some to-dos, let's say to do 1 like this, to do 2. Now the next part we'll do is we will style these to do items. So first we can add some margin around these input boxes as well. So here inside this in this row we can add a class name. Here we'll say class name, and we can set its value equal to MB5. That will add a margin bottom to the row component. So if we save this and if we go into application, you can see that we have some margin here. Now the next thing which we'll do is style these to do items into a list group. So the way we can do that is we can add a list group component. So here we will say list group like this, and wrap these item in a list group component. We also need to import this list group. So we'll say control spacebar, and you can see that we can import list group like this. You can see that list group is now imported. So inside the list group we need to create list group items. So we can go inside our map function, which is our loop, and here we'll say list group dot item like this, and let's shift it down and save it. If we add some to-dos, say to do 1, to do 2 like this, you can see that our to-do items are now inside a list group component like this. So that's pretty neat so far. Now let's go on to the input element and let's style this. We need to convert this add to do button into a plus icon. So to use icons, we need to install React icons. So we'll open the terminal and here we'll say npm install React icons like this. Now let's go to the React icons website as well. So we'll say React icons. Now the beauty of React icons is that you can use all types of icons, that is design icons, bootstrap icons, box icons, everything under a single package. So it's very convenient to use and you can use it in all of your projects and these icons will suit all your needs. Now inside this, we'll search for plus like this and you can see that we are getting different types of plus. You can use whatever you want. For this project, I'm going to use BS plus. So this, and you can see the way you can use these icons is that you have to just import this icon from the particular library. So I'm just going to copy this and go to the input component and here we are going to paste this and instead of FA beer, I'm going to say BS plus. That was the name of our icon and it is from the BS library like this. Now in here, instead of this button, instead of this add to do, we will use this BS plus component. So we'll say BS plus like this. Now if we go on to our application, you can see that we have got a nice plus icon here. So we'll go back to the input component and here we will add an input group. So if you're wondering how I'm getting to know these components, you can look up all of these at React Bootstrap. So if I open the website again, you can see all of these components in here. So now we are going to use input group like this. So here we will, let's go back to the input component and here we'll say input group like this. Let's shift it down. Now for this button, we will say input group dot append. So we'll say input group dot append like this. Not class append, we want dot append like this, and we can shift it down here like this. And if we go to the application, you can see that input group is not defined, so we need to import the input group as well. So we'll press Ctrl and space and then enter, and you can see that input group is now imported. Now if you go back to the application, you can see that it is now in a group. Now for this text box, we can use the form control option. Now here inside the forms, we can see that we have form control like this. So the way we use form control is this: we need to create a form dot control component and we'll pass these props inside of form control. So we'll copy all of this, or rather we'll cut all of this and we'll paste it here and we'll close the form control tag and we'll remove the input component from here. Save this, and if we go into application, you can see that we are getting this nice input box along with this button. Now here, instead of the button, we can replace it with input group dot text. So we can say input group dot text like this, and if we save this, you can see that we're getting a nice button like this. Now let's come on to the search component. So in here, let's go to the search component, and again we will convert this input component to form control. So here we'll say form dot control like this, and you can see that it is automatically imported from React Bootstrap. So if we check our application, you can see that now our search box is also pretty neat like this. Now we also need to add a search icon in this box. So the way we can do it, we can add input group again. So here we'll say input group like this. Let's shift it down. Now in here we will add a React icon. So we'll go to React icons, and here we'll search for search. And you can see that we have got a BS search here. So we'll copy this and we will add BS search like this. And we can import it by pressing Ctrl plus space. And again, inside of BS search, we can say input group dot prepend. So here we'll say input group dot prepend like this. Let's shift it down. And in here, if we go to the application, you can see that input group is not defined. So let's import the input group. We'll press Ctrl plus spacebar, press enter, and you can see that input group is now automatically imported. Now if we go to the application, you can see that we have got our search icon. If we want to make it properly aligned, we need to use input group dot text. So here we can add another component. We'll say input group dot text like this. Let's shift it down. And you can see that now we have a nice search icon here. Now if we add something, say to do 1, and if you click on the plus icon, you can see that to do is now added. If we add to do 2, now click on the plus icon, you can see that our application is getting some shape. Now let's come onto the to do component and let's style this. So we'll go onto the to do component. Let's go to the to do component. And the first thing which we need to do is to convert this into a flex box. The way we can do that in Bootstrap is by using dflex class. And in here we'll add a class name of dflex. And we'll also add justify content center like this. And you can see that these to-do components are now into a flex box. So instead of center, we can do it justify content between like this. Now if you see the application, you can see that our to-do components are now styled in this fashion. We want this complete and the delete button to be together, so we can wrap these buttons into one div. So let's go to the to-do component. After item.text, we'll add a div here like this. Let's shift it down. And in here, we want to copy this and we'll paste it here like this. Similarly, we'll create a div here as well. And again, we will paste the delete button here as well. So that's it. Now, if we go into the application, you can see that the complete and the delete button are here. We need to remove this delete button from here, and you can see that our complete and delete button are at the end, and the to-do item is on the left side. Now let's convert these buttons into icons. So the first thing we need to do is we need to use the button component from React Bootstrap. So instead of using button, we will say capital button with capital B like this, like this, like this, and like this. And we need to check if they are auto imported. So no, they have not been imported, so we need to import them. So press Ctrl plus spacebar and plus press enter, and you can see that they are now imported into the document. Now if we save this and if we check, you can see that we are getting some bootstrap style buttons here. Now we need to convert these buttons to React icons. So instead of this not complete, we want to add a cross here, and instead of this complete, we'll add a tick icon. So let's go to the React icons, and here we can search for BSX, and we need to use this icon. So let's copy this. Let's go to our application, and here we'll say Control V. Let's make it to a component like this. Let's import this like this. So if you go to the application, if you click here, you can see that we are getting this cross button. So similarly, we also want to add a check button here instead of complete. So let's go to React icons again, and here we will say check, and you can see that we have a lot of check icons. The one I want to use is BS check right here. So we'll copy this, and let's go back to the application, and here we'll say Control V like this, and let's import this. So we press Control plus spacebar and press enter, and it will be imported to our application. And now let's go back to our browser, and here you can see that now we have this nice little check button, and if you click on it, it becomes a cross button like this. Now we also need to convert this delete button to a trash button. So we'll go here and we'll search for trash like this, and you can see that we are going to use BS trash here. You can use any of these icons you want. I'm going to use BS trash. So in here we will change this delete to BS trash like this. Let's import this like this, and we'll change it here as well. So Control V, and that's it. So now if we go back to our application here, that we are now getting a nice little check icon and a delete icon for these buttons. One more thing which we can do is, we can add a variant prop to our buttons. So we'll say variant is equal to outline warning. Let's say outline warning here, and then here we'll say variant is equal to outline danger like this. Then here we'll say variant is equal to, it should be outline here. Then again here it should be outline warning, and let's add variant outline danger like this. Now if we check our application, now you can see that we are getting this nice orange and red colored buttons. We also want a bit of space between these two buttons. So what we can do is we can add a class of mr3 between these buttons. So here we'll say class name is equal to mr3, and we'll copy this and we'll paste it here. The class of mr is used to give a right margin. So if you check back our application, you can see that we have got a nice space between these two icons like this, and if we hover over them, we are getting this nice hover effect by Bootstrap as well. Actually, I want these buttons to be green when they are not yet ticked. So what we can do is, in here, when the item is not complete, we can change this to outline success like this. Now if we check our application, you can see that we are getting nice green colored button when the item is not complete. When we hover over this and we click on it, we are getting this nice orange colored button, and we have this delete in red color. So that's all as far as the styling of this application with React Bootstrap is concerned. I hope you learned something in this video. In the next video, we will save these to-do items onto a real-time database using Firebase.
Thank you for watching the video. Please hit the like button if you learned something. If you're new here, consider subscribing. See you in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.